And of course, DR wouldn't be surprised if they lock in the Nami just to complement the Varus. But FENNEL Adversity takes that away from them. And DR Esports can take a page from Team Secret's book, lock in Lux if they want full-on single-target aggression and big skirmish, or they can lock in a Janna just to make sure that the Varus is safe. But no, never mind. It's going to be Rox and the Thresh for the second time this time around. It worked yesterday. Excited to see the Thresh and the Lee Sin too. FENNEL Adversity, we talked about the Kazakhs, and now it's going to be another assassin on board. I'm excited to see this because we've been waiting for Thresh Lee Sin combo, and we're going to be expecting the roams from Rox earlier on. Strong level 3, and FENNEL Adversity should be careful.
I kind of want to jump right into the game because I love this Lee Sin plus Thresh combo. Will they be able to pull it off? Will FENNEL be able to stop this? I mean, you have Domeng, you also have Power, has a lot of damage and CCs, so it's a pretty close matchup just looking at the draft. And with all that said and done, I'm very much excited. So Riku, alongside our viewers, let's hop into the rift. DR Esports versus FENNEL Adversity. Jumping back into, well, not back, jumping into game number 1. You have the usual start for our two teams here. Fizz just holding his ground at the mid lane. Just a few EXP being taken by Danny, which of course he and Rafe will go back into Dragon Lane later. But for the Baron Lane side, you have the usual skirmish here and there, like Power against this Renekton Devil J.
Yeah, level 3 is going to be strong for the side of both Power and Devil J. But at the same time, it is going to be a very volatile lane, especially who gets the stun first. Level 5, though, if Devil J is unable to activate the Dominus right away, he's just going to get bursted down with one sequence of combo, especially if Devil J is poked down early. In the meantime, though, for the dual lane, excited to see this happen again. The Thresh, usually... Look at that Power denying any sort of the vision. The Scrying Orb already, or rather the plant rather is already denied. And with that, again, going back to the bot lane, I'm excited to see this happen. Level 2 is a very strong spike for Rox here on the Thresh. Even the level 3 to complete with the shield and the lantern. But then, whenever a Thresh is locked, the expectations is, will Varus be able to manage?
Ooh, ETAF being seen by Domeng right there, but that is a very strong re-engage coming out from Lee Sin. A lot of damage being taken by Kazakhs, but Kazakhs will be able to scooch out of there. He did use Flash in that mini fight earlier.
Now, that's going to be very important. No Flash for Domeng, so they're going to be put in the back foot. Domeng will have to be playing more carefully. Etaf, though, with still the Flash in. So come level 5, he can initiate with a Flash Dragon's Rage, perhaps. That's going to be available. Etaf's not going to take the Lantern. He just wants to roam around the map a little bit more.
Possibly get vision from what's happening into the mid lane. But aside from that, pretty standard start from these two teams. No one actually getting first blood just yet. The closest advantage I could see, though, is the fact that Devil J, alongside EDAF, will be able to box in Power, jump in. 2v1 shields coming through. Power was able to flash out of there, and he will leave his tower vulnerable.
It's really hard to try and pin down a Riven. It's just going to dance around the battlefield, dance around the fight. It's hard to pin them down without an actual hard CC and chain lock. And Power's just going to slip away. But looking at FENNEL Adversity's composition right now, this is aiming towards more of the mid to late. Danny is going to be incredibly huge. Mid-game, Shaw, once he manages to get the bubble, kick!
Bubbles always almost connecting there, but you have the Lantern being able to save his teammate. No kill still for the side of FENNEL Adversity. Rox with that vision and that proactiveness really being seen in the early game.
Yeah, that's a really nice smooth Lantern. If the kick did not prevail, then it's just a smooth Lantern way out. DR Esports, on the other hand, a lot of pick potential on board as well with the Dragon's Rage and the Chum the Waters. So there's a ton of burst and single target, also with a 4-1 setup with Devil J. We've seen how Devil J has performed in the fall season group stages. Very consistent. No matter what top laner he uses, we've seen him incredibly skilled on the Akali as well. So the Renekton is going to be possibly a similar story. 11 seconds on the clock, though, for the next objectives to spawn. And of course, Earth Drake will be welcomed by DR Esports because you are up against a Ziggs who's just going to constantly poke you. So that's something that they would want to have with the shields coming in. Final Adversity, the same thing as well, because Gospel is on a Varus. So they're going to be eating a lot of these piercing arrows. But Scuttler Control will be in favor of FENNEL.
Oh, looks like that is going to be the poke coming out from Gospel. And I do agree, both teams would contest this Mountain Drake, but looks like they're just gonna leave the Dragon alone and instead go back to their usual lanes. Now you have Gospel taking that Void Seeker. Danny does have Killer Instinct, but looks like they're not gonna be aggressive just yet. You also have Kazik making his way down into Dragon lane. Ultimate is available. Let's see if Domeng will try and make a play because DR Esports, they're slowly closing in on the tower. Gospel did rotate, place a ward for safety, and now their esports having first dips on this Dragon.
Look at this positioning. Rox can activate a box into this choke point, and FENNEL Adversity will get zoned out.
Piercing R is going to come through, but now you have FENNEL Adversity lurking to the side. You have the Lantern right there. Let's see if it will connect. You have the bouncing bombs coming through. You also have the ultimate coming in from Fizz. It will connect, but looking at the Dragon, it will go over to FENNEL Adversity. The box has been laid out. Void Seeker coming out. First blood going over to FENNEL. You have 2 kills going over to Ziggs. A Root, he cannot move. That is another kill onto Varus. At the very least, Renekton got 1 kill, but his life was offered to Kaisa. Rox with the recall. Domeng says hello. Rox, will you be able to jump away? It will be a no because Domeng, he does get hooked. Shields are gonna come through, but it's not gonna be enough. Rox being annihilated by the jungler of FENNEL Adversity.
Yeah, that is something that you do not want. A steal from not from an enemy jungler, but from an enemy top laner. It's gonna be Power who's who managed to get the steal off of that. And the fact that Domeng got early kills as well is gonna hurt DR Esports even more. We talked about this before, how DR, their composition heavily relies on this early to mid game as well, because Lee Sin's gonna eventually fall off. Renekton's gonna fall off as well. So now that Domeng manages to get early kills in as well, Shaw is gonna speed up the process. Especially Ziggs can be insanely painful mid to late game. 3 items, 2 items actually, Ludens, Rabadons already is sufficient.
Okay, now you have their esports just focusing on the Rift Herald. Mega Friend of Bomb being thrown out, and here comes FENNEL yet again. Will they get the steal? That is the whole onto one, but Shaw does pop in with the Stacy's Virus, the first one to get taken down. What a beautiful engage from Domeng. He looks to be going over to Riven and Power. He has his eyes on Edaf. There is no Chum the Waters. Death punishment is right there. Death sentence rather, but now you have Edaf being able to use Trickster, but Power will not stop. You have the defense coming from Rox. Ransing being able to get the Herald, but Power is still on the chase. Beautiful Lancer coming out from Rox, but it just bought time for FENNEL to secure the objective.
Yeah, the display of Micro in that chase was just very impressive. Rox with the last Lantern save to end that chase. And FENNEL Adversity, though, at the end of the day, they get the lead. They have this really huge lead. They have a 4K gold lead, and as well as getting that Dragon, and as well as the Rift Herald. So this is very good, great start for FENNEL Adversity. In the meantime, though, DR Esports, looking at the itemization, of course, they're still waiting for Gospel to complete fully stacked Moramana. Rabadons, though, already completed for Edaf. But the thing is, the challenging thing is, there's a bunch of Zonia's Hourglass enchants on the side of FENNEL Adversity to cancel out the Chum the Waters, to be able to deny any of the following and incoming CCs, like the Chain of Corruptions, like the Chum the Waters. So this is DR Esports having to maneuver around that in a micro setup in these later fights.
Now you have Gospel holding it down to the mid lane. I believe Rox and Edaf tried to set up a possible gank there, but Shaw did not commit. You also have the explosive minefield being laid out, and FENNEL Adversity being able to get another turret. Here comes Rox, here comes Edaf, dive coming in, but you have the ultimate being committed onto Power. This means the box being laid out, Power being taken down, and it's a shutdown on this Riven. The kill going over to Fizz. You have the Herald being summoned at the barrel inside, but the damage from Danny was too much. Killer Instinct in, Stacy's in, Domeng still pretty much alive. Here comes their esports looking for the bomb being thrown out. Kick connecting. Etaf being able to use Stacy. You have the Lancer being thrown out, but their esports was only able to get the kill. 3-9 the scoreboard. A lot of the leads in favor of FENNEL Adversity.
Yes, definitely. Look at the top lane. It's completely obliterated. And it's only the inhibitor tower left standing at this point of the game, 8 minutes in. That's going to hurt DR Esports' constant pressure to see if they can secure this dragon. And they have to keep an eye on that constantly because FENNEL Adversity still has that outer tower standing. Ocean Drake has now spawned. Omnivamp, very important in the fights later on, especially if DR Esports wants to survive, especially that they haven't secured the previous dragon, which is the Mountain Drake. So this is going to be very painful, especially if you're up against Shaw on that Ziggs. The stun.
Ooh, okay. Wow, okay. The Rose is going to connect, but that is going to be the Lancer connecting onto power as well. It will be another piercing arrow coming through, but it's not enough to take Riven down. Shaw will hold his guns to the mid lane. Satchel Charge will be able to get that turret. 4 turrets already down in favor of FENNEL Adversity. The Baron will be up in 10 seconds, but DR, they saw that fight or that mini war in the Dragon lane, so it looks like they want to push up top into the Baron lane side. You have power right on defense though. He doesn't have the ultimate bottle, so he will be able to survive this 2v1. Here comes Domeng. Here comes Danny as well. Kate and Raid. Renection being annihilated. Ita first to flash out. You also have the bubble being set up by Rafe. At the very least, he will be a-okay.
Power bought so much time. Imagine the rest of FENNEL Adversity just came from bot lane and manually climbed up to top. And Power was able to distract them, get on stasis, and FENNEL just cleaning up. DR Esports had to suffer the consequences. Something that is a mini win, though, is that they're able to clear and equalize top lane as they remove the inner tower. But still, a lot of lives. Well, it is Devil J's life that had to be sacrificed and be given for more kills to the carries of FENNEL Adversity.
Now looking into 11 minutes into the game.
Oh, the
lead
reset!
isn't. Oh no! The buff got reset.
Oh dear.
RIP. The resource already used only to have the buff reset. That hurts. I'm gonna say it right now. So they're gonna let that go. Like, nope.
That was just reset. Yeah, because Shaw practically ran out of mana already. And Shaw even had to hurry up, didn't even fully restack his mana. Look at this though. Power's gonna bump into Devil J.
But looks like there won't be any duels just yet. FENNEL Adversity this time around, they're slowly positioning themselves in the Baron's pit. But of course, you want to get a pick off first. They are running the 4-1 setup. They have first dibs on this Cutler, and oof, that damage from Danny though. He is good to go.
Yeah, it's definitely good to go. Kaisa is going to ramp up even more as the game progresses. We're talking about 15-minute mark where FENNEL Adversity can create a deeper impact. Look at this though. Devil J is going to get collapsed upon by FENNEL.
Oh, looks like that's in the Power having his eyes on Devil. Those are not gonna connect. IK being used. Beautiful mega for the bomb. Tadlow being sent out as well. DR Esports does lose their support. Chum the Water can be onto one, but he is still pretty much alive. Edab does jump in a tad bit too deep. Will he be able to survive? To be a no. He got bursted down by Kha'Zix, and FENNEL Adversity being able to win that with the 2-0 trade. The castle on TPs. That is being annihilated. He shot down on the ADC, but he traded that with his life.
They wanted to get the kill because DR Esports basically invested so much just to kill Danny, only to fail. So TR had to sacrifice another life on the board. I think the consolation prize is that DR, a good thing that fight didn't happen when the Infernal Drake has spawned, but with 30 seconds on the clock, FENNEL Adversity will be first to get vision down, as we get to see them also actually try to push. No, it's Devil J is able to get a good grasp of the bottom lane instead. But it doesn't change the fact that FENNEL is on their way to 3 dragons, and this is going to be a strong win condition for them, especially, we talked about the scaling coming from FENNEL. We're already at the 13-minute mark, and DR Esports, their strength is the early, and we don't see any signs of life from them so far.
too close for comfort for Etaf there. At the very least, he was not picked off. The Infernal Drake is now up. FENNEL Adversity, controlled aggression already in the Infernal Drake's pit. They have first dibs on this dragon. Looks like just like butter, it's gonna be melted by the men in red. Rotating over to the
Power?
mid lane. Power at the front line. Just gonna come through. Will he be able to survive? The backs has been lent out. Riven does
Look
say
at the
goodbye, but
damage.
you have the Mega Inferno Bomb being thrown out by Shaw. Killer Instinct in. Devil J forced to jump out. Ensemble now for this Ziggs and FENNEL. They're still going all out. Gets 2 kills, gets the buff, gets the dragon, and now they have their eyes on the Baron.
Yeah, and that kill, unfortunately, just equated into FENNEL getting the Baron. Look at the teleports now. They're coming in.
Teleports are gonna come through, but the red team still being able to get the Baron. Now you have Devil J being locked in.
What?
The damage from Kaisa was too much, as well as the bombs. You also have the ebb and flow hurting a lot. Fizz just gets taken down, gets erased in the map, and Etaf had no other choice but to run away.
This is FENNEL Adversity's game right now for sure. Look at this chase. Power just wants to finish the blue buff, actually. That blue buff has been alive for the past few minutes after that reset, and it's going to reset for the second time again. FENNEL, look at them now, just heading straight towards this mid lane, with Shaw not even needing to reset. Look at him, he's all alone, with now the rest of the
still holding
team
his
following
ground.
through.
But you have FENNEL being able to isolate Lee Sin too. With that, actually, he's not the isolate. Even Power wants to get the
Oh,
kill.
dear.
One bomb,
The flash!
in, bomb coming in. Shaw being able to get that kill. Tidal wave in even. A double kill going over to Ziggs. Oh, goodness me. FENNEL, the firepower, the damage. It is definitely seen. They're not gonna stop. Piercing arrow will come through, but they don't care. Not the
Whoa.
bomb being thrown out. Roots coming through. Varus being annihilated, and now FENNEL being able to put a hole in the base of their esports.